So yeah, what's happening? I just thought we'd talk about Lord Sko, one of the youngest and brightest stars emerging from the New York rap scene. He's put out 3 solid albums before turning 21, which is remarkable and like refreshing for the underground, which is dominated by a lot of middle-aged rappers. His raspy baritone voice adds a lot of weight to his bars and delivery. Born in '04 and hailing from Washington Heights, which is uptown Manhattan, specifically between Harlem and the Bronx for those wondering. Josh Fresco, like his contemporaries, is similarly influenced by a lot of wrestling and artists from the 90s like Jadakiss, Big L and Cool G Rap, but then also by a lot of modern MCs like Joey, Rocky and Mac. He was raised by his mother, who was a teacher, which goes a long way in explaining his lyrical prowess. His name inspired by Kid Cudi in the sense of taking the suffix from his surname, and then the Lord part came from a local homeless man.
And like I would see him in different places, granted on like the same like 5 block radius, but you know, I still felt it was significant. And I wear a lot of rings, so he would say, "Lord of the Rings, like let me get a Newport, let me get a dollar."
Sko says he was pushed by his friend Mac, who made beats, to take his music more seriously. Both of them putting a tape together at about 15. He popped onto my radar in July of 2022 when he put out his album Museum at the age of 18, forming a pretty strong foundation. Limited to just 200 copies, I feel like a lot of these physical releases are a lot more akin to a piece of art than a traditional album, in the way it's designed to appreciate and not just impress, exemplified by the cover art of Sko holding the artwork. More like capturing a moment in time than making something that's meant to be played at clubs. The focus always seems to be on art over streams.
I was really just trying to say, like, this is what I know in its purest form, and that is an art because, you know what I mean? Like, just like breaking it down in its purest form, just beats and bars, like, just like, yo, this is rap music, like, that's still an art, you know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
even in its purest form, motherfuckers don't gotta boil it down to anything else. It's just like, yo, that is that, you know what I mean? Just what I'm doing, like, that is an art form type shit is what I was trying to say. And then if you see in the cover, I'm holding the painting,
Yep.
which also means, like, you kind of get to control what you're gonna see, you know?
13 of the 15 tracks are produced by Arlo Walker, which is a partnership which has carried him through his career and doesn't seem to slow down. He's already displayed his ridiculous amount of talent for his age, playing on tracks like Russian Doll, which has an excellent beat switch. The tune Superstition is what really grabbed me. His machine gun flow almost sounds like he's beatboxing. So yeah, after about 14 months he'd followed that up. The United Palace of Spiritual Arts is a theatre situated in the middle of the Heights on Broadway. After deciding it would be his album cover, he come to realise its similarities to Lifestyles on the Poor and Dangerous by Big L. Leaning into this homage, feeling like it was an obligation to pay respect to Big L, wanting to create the same feeling of reflection of where he's from and putting on for his area. What we got was sonically similar, more refined bars, and the beats were just a lot more interesting. Pimp Sucks is certainly the standout, encapsulating his playful, fictitious style, with strings and horns in the background and has this really organic feeling. The Diggers, an underground favourite, ended up making the video, which was a remarkable step up from his previous videos, the colour grading especially. He's not just a thug rapper or a backpacker, he's like a normal street kid who loves drugs, so I think this makes him a bit more relatable to a bigger audience. I appreciate that he doesn't take himself too seriously too. Notably, Mescaline Leaves with Mayhem Lauren would be Sko's first collaboration with Static Select, who'd become another one of his frequent collaborators and a somewhat mentor to him. Meeting Sko when he performed for him at a block party, and then later appearing on his show off radio on Shade 45, followed up with featuring on both Bumby's third and fourth Trill Static collab tapes with Static Select. Sko's managed by hip-hop veteran Dante Ross and Salim Guy, who's known for working with artists like Comega, Baldy James, Rock Marcy, and Sko actually tried to contact Dante in the hopes of getting signed, but it wouldn't be till Euro Drew passed the music on to him himself that Dante paid attention.
I don't know how he really caught wind of my shit, but he sent, apparently I'd sent my music to Dante and said, yo, this kid is some real Max Fish rap. And Max Fish was a dive bar in New York City. It was there for a very long time. It was where Sweet Chick is at right now. But it was kind of like, you know, a ill spot for like all the graph writers and skaters and, you know, rappers, hardcore heads, like all the LES.
So yeah, in the meantime, Sko just was going back and forth from LA, just doing a lot of features, and he aimed to create a new sound for his next album, taking 2 years this time. Fearing repetition, he wanted to branch out from his sound, creating Piff, which was put out by Rock Nation, and the physicals were handled by Fat Beats. The sound came after a Wiz Khalifa tweet asking why nobody makes weed albums no more. While its cover art is marked by his love for cartoons, it would see his biggest features to date with an all-star lineup of MCs and producers from OGs like Grand Puba, Del Funky Homo Sapien, Conway and Currency, and even new cats like Mavi and Mike Shab. Overall, refined hooks, solid wordplay, and also showed his versatility on being able to rap over 808s and not just boom bap. I believe this shows his ability to work with artists that are far outside the coke rap bubble, which gives him a bit of a leg up on other artists in the subgenre. While his peers may be boxed in a bit, he can get out of that by... He's been gradually grown, but I do think the right feature placement or co-sign will easily propel him into the mainstream. Once again, his music videos were pretty decent on this album too. The Currency one was a bit whack, but the Big Lebowski parody for Randy Moss is extremely on brand and very funny. He cites Big Lebowski as one of his favourite movies, along with King of New York, which he picked for his Desert Island movie. So yeah, what's on the way next for Lord Sko? I think next on the horizon is probably the Static Select collab tape, and then at some point in the future I think he does want to follow up Piff, but he'll probably put out his 4th album before that. Definitely one of the most interesting MCs to come out in a while. So yeah, let us know what you think. One of my favourite new and up and comers. What do you think of Lord Sko? In a bit.